Welcome back to Better English Step by Step. This is your time to slow down, take a deep breath, and focus entirely on your English. There are no distractions here, no flashing images, no fast cuts, and no rush. We are here to build your confidence, one calm step at a time. I am Sarah.
And I am Mark. Hello, everyone. We are very happy to have you with us for this long-form session. Today, we are going to tackle a topic that makes even advanced learners feel nervous. We are going to talk about the past, but not just what happened. We are going to talk about what did not happen.
Exactly, Mark. We are talking about the psychology of regret and the psychology of decision-making. We make thousands of decisions every day. Some are small, like what to eat for breakfast. Some are huge, like which job to take or which city to live in. When we look back at those decisions, our brains naturally start to wonder. We ask ourselves, what if?
What if I had taken that other job? What if I had woken up earlier? What if I hadn't said that?
These are heavy questions, and in English, they require heavy grammar. This structure is often called the third conditional. It is the grammar of the impossible past. It allows you to imagine a different history. But here is the problem. It is physically difficult to say. It requires a lot of verbs, a lot of auxiliary words, and a very specific rhythm.
Many learners avoid it, or they try to use it and they get tangled up. They might say, if I would have known, I would have gone. But that is not quite right. It sounds a bit messy. It does not sound like the confident, professional English you want to speak.
Today, for the next hour, we are going to untangle this knot. We are not just going to learn the rule. We are going to drill the muscle memory. We will break this complex sentence into two simple halves. We will practice the first half until it is automatic. Then we will practice the second half until it flows smoothly. Finally, we will put them together. By the end of this session, you will be able to talk about your past decisions with total clarity.
This is perfect for you if you want to sound more professional in meetings or just more articulate when sharing stories with friends. So, find a comfortable place. If you are commuting, just listen and murmur along. If you are at home, speak out loud with us. Let's begin.
Let's start with the feeling of this grammar. Imagine a situation. Imagine you were late for an important meeting this morning. Why were you late? Because the traffic was bad. That is the reality. The traffic was bad, so you were late. But now your brain wants to imagine a better outcome. You want to imagine a world where the traffic was good.
So you want to change the past condition. In reality, the traffic was bad. In your imagination, the traffic was not bad. And if that condition changes, the result changes too. In reality, you were late. In your imagination, you would have been on time.
The sentence we want to build is, if the traffic hadn't been bad, I would have been on time. Listen to the length of that sentence. It is long. It has a rhythm. Da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. If the traffic hadn't been bad, I would have been on time.
Before we try the whole thing, we need to master the first part. We call this the if clause. This is the condition. The rule here is simple but strict. After the word if, when we talk about the past, we use the past perfect tense.
That means we use the word had, H-A-D, plus the past participle of the verb. If I had known, if I had seen, if I had gone. Mark, why is this difficult for learners?
I think the difficulty, Sarah, comes from the contraction. In natural, flowing English, we almost never say if I had known clearly. We squash it together. It becomes if I'd known.
That is the secret, if I'd. Listen to the sound. It is very short. I'd. Can you repeat that sound? I'd. Now let's add the word if. If I'd. Let's try it with some common verbs. We will start very slowly. I will say the full phrase, and Mark will say the natural, contracted version. Then you repeat after Mark. Let's start with the verb to know. If I had known.
If I'd known.
Repeat that. If I'd known. Good. Let's try the verb to see. If I had seen.
If I'd seen.
Repeat. If I'd seen.
If I'd seen.
Make sure you are making that soft D sound. Your tongue should tap the roof of your mouth just behind your teeth. If I'd seen. Let's try the verb to go. If I had gone.
If I'd gone.
Repeat. If I'd gone.
If I'd gone.
Let's try a negative one. This is very common. Imagine you did something and you regret it. You want to imagine not doing it. If I had not said that.
If I hadn't said that.
Notice the rhythm there. Hadn't. If I hadn't said that. Repeat.
If I hadn't said that.
Good. Let's try the verb to listen. If I had listened.
If I'd listened.
Repeat, if I'd listened.
If I'd listened.
Let's do a few more to really lock this in. We are training your brain to stop looking for the word would in this part of the sentence. This is the most common mistake. People say, if I would have known. That is incorrect. In the if part, there is no would. There is only had. If I had, if I'd. Let's try the verb to ask. If I had asked.
If I'd asked.
Repeat, if I'd asked.
If I'd asked.
And the verb to wait. If I had waited.
If I'd waited.
Repeat, if I'd waited. Excellent. Now we are going to do a small challenge. I am going to give you a situation in the simple past. I want you to transform it into an if clause using this pattern. For example, if I say, I didn't know the answer, you should say, if I'd known the answer. Mark will help us.
Ready? Here is the first situation. You didn't wake up early.
How do you change that? If
I'd woken up early.
repeat that. If I'd woken up early.
Here is the next one. You didn't check your email.
Transform it. If
I'd checked my email.
repeat, if I'd checked my email.
Notice the pronunciation of checked. It ends in a T sound. Checked. If I'd checked.
Let's try another. You ate too much. This is a regret. You want to imagine the opposite.
If I hadn't eaten too much.
Repeat, if I hadn't eaten too much.
One more. You were late.
This uses the verb to be. The past participle is been. So if I
hadn't been late.
repeat, if I hadn't been late.
Or if you want to be positive, you were late, so imagine you were on time.
If I'd been on time.
Repeat.
If I'd been on time. Take a breath. Good work. You have just drilled the first half of the third conditional. If I'd known, if I'd seen, if I'd been. This is the foundation. If you get this part right, the listener knows exactly where you are going. You are taking them into a hypothetical world.
But a condition needs a result. If I had known, what would have happened? This is where we bring in the second half of the sentence, and this is where the word would finally appears.
The structure for the result is subject plus would have plus past participle. I would have gone. I would have seen. I would have done.
But again, Sarah, we have a pronunciation challenge here. In fluent English, we do not say I would have. We squash it. It sounds like I'd have.
Listen closely to that. It is almost 3 syllables, but very fast. I-dove, I'd-of, I'd-of. It sounds strange when you slow it down, but it makes your speaking flow much better. Mark, can you demonstrate the slow version and then the fast version? Sure. Slow, I would have gone. Fast, I'd have gone. Listen to that difference. Repeat the fast version after Mark. I'd have gone. Again.
I'd have gone.
It feels like you are chewing the words a little bit. That is okay. Let's try with the verb to see. I would have seen it.
I'd have seen it.
Repeat, I'd have seen it.
I'd have seen it.
Let's try with to help. I would have helped.
I'd have helped.
Repeat, I'd have helped. Now sometimes this sound changes depending on the subject. What if we talk about he? He would have. He'd have.
He'd have done it.
Repeat, he'd have done it.
Or she would have. She'd have.
She'd have. It sounds like she dove into a pool. She'd have.
She'd have known.
Repeat, she'd have known.
She'd have known.
And what about the negative? I would not have. This contracts to I wouldn't have, or even faster, I wouldn't have.
That is a mouthful. I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have gone.
Repeat that carefully. I wouldn't have gone. Let's try a few common results. Imagine a different outcome. I would have been happy.
I'd have been happy.
Repeat, I'd have been happy.
I would have told you.
I'd have told you.
Repeat. I'd have told you.
I would have bought it.
I'd have bought it.
Repeat, I'd have bought it.
Now the negative. I would not have worried.
I wouldn't have worried. Repeat, I wouldn't have worried.
I wouldn't have made that mistake.
I wouldn't have made that mistake. Repeat, I wouldn't have made that mistake.
Excellent. Now you have the 2 pieces of the puzzle. You have the condition, if I'd known, and you have the result, I'd have gone. Now comes the most important part of our session today. We are going to put them together.
This is where the magic happens. We are going to build full sentences that express complex thoughts about the past. We will connect the if clause to the result clause. The rhythm should be smooth. If I'd known, I'd have gone. There is a slight pause in the middle, at the comma.
We are going to practice this with specific scenarios. We will describe a situation, and then we will create the third conditional sentence for it. Listen to us first, then repeat.
Scenario 1. You didn't study for the test, so you failed. That is the reality. You didn't study, so you failed. Now let's imagine the opposite past.
If I'd studied, I would have passed.
Listen to that again. If I'd studied, I would have passed. Now you try. Repeat.
If I'd studied, I would have passed.
Let's try that one more time. Focus on the flow.
If I'd studied, I would have passed.
Scenario 2. It rained, so we didn't go to the park. Reality, rain. Result, no park. Let's imagine the opposite.
If it hadn't rained, we would have gone to the park.
This is a longer one. Break it down. If it hadn't rained,
If it hadn't rained,
we would have gone to the park.
we would have gone to the park.
Put it together.
If it hadn't rained, we would have gone to the park.
Repeat.
If it hadn't rained, we would have gone to the park.
Scenario 3. I didn't know you were coming, so I didn't cook dinner.
If I'd known you were coming, I would have cooked dinner.
Try that. It starts with if I'd known.
If I'd known you were coming, I would have cooked dinner.
Repeat.
If I'd known you were coming, I would have cooked dinner.
Scenario 4. We are talking about decision-making, right? Let's imagine a business context. You didn't hire him, and he went to work for a competitor. That is a regret.
If we'd hired him, he wouldn't have gone to the competitor.
Listen to the negative in the second part. He wouldn't have gone.
If we'd hired him, he wouldn't have gone to the competitor.
Repeat.
If we'd hired him, he wouldn't have gone to the competitor.
Scenario 5. You forgot to set your alarm, so you missed the train.
If I hadn't forgotten my alarm, I wouldn't have missed the train.
This is a double negative structure. If I hadn't, I wouldn't have. This is very advanced. Try it slowly.
If I hadn't forgotten my alarm, I wouldn't have missed the train.
Repeat.
If I hadn't forgotten my alarm, I wouldn't have missed the train.
You are doing great. This is a mental workout. It is like going to the gym for your grammar muscles. If you are feeling tired, that is normal. Take a deep breath. We are going to keep going, but we will switch the focus slightly.
Sometimes we want to start with the result. We can flip the sentence. Instead of saying, if I had known, I would have gone, we can say, I would have gone if I had known.
The meaning is exactly the same, but the rhythm is different. And importantly, there is no pause. There is no comma sound. I would have gone if I had known.
Let's practice a few of these flipped sentences. Listen and repeat.
I would have helped you if you'd asked.
I would have helped you if you'd asked.
Repeat.
I would have helped you if you'd asked.
We would have been on time if the traffic hadn't been bad.
We would have been on time if the traffic hadn't been bad.
Repeat.
We would have been on time if the traffic hadn't been bad.
She would have bought the house if it had been cheaper.
She would have bought the house if it had been cheaper.
Repeat.
She would have bought the house if it had been cheaper.
I would have called you if I had had your number.
I would have called you if I had your number.
Repeat.
I would have called you if I had your number.
Excellent work. Now let's take this back to the theme of our anchor topic, psychology and decision-making. When we analyze decisions, we often use words like realize, choose, option, and outcome. Let's try to build some third conditional sentences using this more professional vocabulary. This is perfect for those of you who need English for work or university.
Imagine a business meeting where you are reviewing a project that failed. You are doing a post-mortem analysis. You need to explain the cause and effect of the failure politely but clearly.
Here is a sentence. If we had realized the risk, we would have chosen a different option.
Listen to the contraction. If we'd realized the risk.
And the result, we would have chosen a different option.
Put it together. If we'd realized the risk, we would have chosen a different option.
Repeat that. It sounds very professional.
If we'd realized the risk, we would have chosen a different option.
Here is another one using the word outcome. If we had followed the data, the outcome would have been better.
If we'd followed the data, the outcome would have been better.
Repeat.
If we'd followed the data, the outcome would have been better.
Let's try one with invest. If we had invested earlier, we would have seen more growth.
If we'd invested earlier, we would have seen more growth.
And one with consult. If I had consulted with the team, I wouldn't have made that error.
If I'd consulted with the team, I wouldn't have made that error.
Repeat.
If I'd consulted with the team, I wouldn't have made that error.
You see, when you master this structure, you don't just sound correct. You sound smart. You sound capable of critical thinking. You are not just reporting facts, you are analyzing possibilities. That is a C1 or C2 level skill.
And the best way to keep this skill sharp is to subscribe to Better English Step by Step. Every week, we break down these high-level patterns into simple, relaxing drills just like this one. If you subscribe, you won't miss our next session on advanced vocabulary for meetings.
Before we finish, let's do a final cool-down review. We have done a lot of heavy lifting today. Let's relax the pace. I want you to just listen to these sentences. Don't worry about repeating them perfectly. Just let the rhythm wash over you. Close your eyes if you can.
If I'd known, I would have come. If I'd seen her, I would have said hello. If it had been sunny, we would have gone out. If they'd asked me, I would have helped. I would have stayed if you'd asked me to. We would have won if we played better. She would have passed if she studied more. If I hadn't eaten so much, I wouldn't feel sick. If I'd left earlier, I wouldn't have been late.
Notice the music of those sentences. Up and down, condition and result, past perfect and would have.
It is a beautiful structure once you stop fighting it and start feeling it.
We have one final task for you today, a small homework assignment to make sure this lesson sticks. We want you to think about yesterday, just yesterday. Think of one small mistake you made. Maybe you forgot your keys. Maybe you burned your toast. Maybe you spent too much time on social media.
We want you to create one third conditional sentence about that mistake. For example, if I hadn't burned the toast, I would have enjoyed my breakfast. Or, if I hadn't spent an hour on Instagram, I would have finished my book.
Say that sentence out loud to yourself 3 times. Do it right now or as soon as this video ends. Speaking it out loud connects the grammar to your reality.
Thank you for studying with us today. You put in the time and you followed the steps. That is how fluency happens.
Keep practicing, be patient with yourself, and remember, if you hadn't clicked on this video, you wouldn't have learned this pattern today. But you did, and you are better for it. See you in the next lesson.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.